This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, we're holding already Kamad, Erev Yom Tif, Erev Rosh Hashanah. Thank you very much. In the Brach of Shefarais, we say a line, and it seems repetitious. We say, Ki ato shoymea kol shofar, you hear the sound of the shofar, umazin trua, and you're attentive to the trua. It's the same thing. You hear the shofar, you're attentive to the trua. It's the same exact thing. What's the repetition? And then we say, V'ein doi melach, there's nobody like you. What's that supposed to mean? Of course there's nobody like Hashem. Well, there's something special. Hashem hears the shofar, he's attentive to the trua, there's nobody like him. There's an amazing lashon of the Medrash. The Medrash in Tehillim Parakuf Beis. It's a Medrash Yalkut Shemaini. It's a Medrash Shachar Tov. The Medrash says on the pasuk, Pana el tfilas ha'arar v'lo vaza es tfilasam. The Medrash says this is talking about the last generations of history. It says the Medrash she'ein lahem loi mikdash. They have no Beit HaMikdash. V'loi kohen. They have no kohen gadol. V'loi urim v'tumim. They have no urim v'tumim. They have no navi. Ein lohem ella. All they have is tefillah achas. One tefillah of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. That's all we got. All the old gifts, all the special things that we used to have, the Aroin, the Kruvim, the Luchais, the Mateh, Ruach HaKodesh, Nevuah, we're gone. We're done. We have nothing left. The only special gift that we still have is one tefillah. Which tefillah? Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Let's talk about it a little bit. What's so special about the tefillah of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur? Share with you two brief ideas. Number one, a person, let's say, he's not feeling so good. He wants to come, Ribbon Shalom, heal me! Hashem says, why? Why? Because I don't feel so good. You can't. Are you allowed to do that? You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to daven for that. You're not down for that. The Ribbon Shalom made a gzeira that the person shouldn't feel good because the Ribbon Shalom wants to be mechaper your avonos. So you're going to say, no, really, that's okay. I don't want you to be mechaper my avonos. What do you mean? The Ribbon Shalom knows what's better for you. How could you daven to be avato? The Ribbon Shalom decreed you should make X parnasa. No, I want to raise. What do you mean you want to raise? The Ribbon Shalom knows that less is better for you because your averos, because of your matziv. How could you daven for that? So Nefesh HaChaim says you're not allowed to. So how can we do it? That's what we do. It says like this. When you contrast the tefillos of Rosh Hashanah and the tefillos of the year, on Rosh Hashanah, the only thing we daven for is that Hashem's malchus should be recognized and realized in the world, that mankind should recognize there's a creator, that he runs the world, and we don't make one request in the Shemoneh Esrei, not for life, not for health, not for everything. I charge for people in my videos. No problem. I could use the extra income. It's okay. But it's okay. It's no. It's good. It's good for fun. Part of the shiur. People need to know that there are actually people here. Otherwise they think I'm talking to the wall. But on Rosh Hashanah, we don't make one request for ourselves. Yeah, we say Zachoinu L'chaim, that's a later addition. The Gaonim put in later. But originally, all of our tefillos were only for the Ribbon Shalom. Says in Nefesh HaChaim, whatever we say on Rosh Hashanah, that's what our kavanah is the whole year. Meaning, like this. You know how we could ask Hashem for health? Because since on Rosh Hashanah, we said, Ribbon Shalom, we're living only to magnify your malchus in the world, so then later in the year when we're asking for health, our kavanah is, we want health, because if we're healthy, we could be your servant to magnify your malchus in the world. Remember what I said on Rosh Hashanah? Oh, you said that on Rosh Hashanah, now I could give you health. Ribbon Shalom, I need parnasa. You know why I need parnasa? Because if Yidden don't have parnasa, it's like a chil Hashem that the Ribbon Shalom's people are not cared for. The only way you're allowed to daven b'chol Hashanah is because you're koiveya what your kavanah is on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. So if you don't have that kavanah on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, you can't stand before Rebbeinu Shalom in any of the tefillos of the year. So really, the tefillos of Rosh Hashanah are koiveya, the allowance, by the way. So you'll say, okay, that's if Klal Yisrael is suffering. If Klal Yisrael is suffering, then Klal Yisrael could say to Rebbeinu Shalom, we're davening that we should be elevated because we're your people, so it doesn't look good for you if we're suffering. But what about an individual? So Rabbi Chaim says, even an individual, you know why you could daven for your own needs? Because even though for the Yachid, maybe it's better that he doesn't feel well, or he doesn't have the parnasa because it's mechaper zavoinos, but Chazal say, Amar Meir, Bizman she Yisrael b'tzar, ma HaKadosh Baruch Hu omer, Kilalani meiroishi, Kilalani mizroi. The Rebbeinu Shalom suffers when we suffer. So we say like this, Rebbeinu Shalom, I know for me it's better to be in a difficult matzav, but it's hard for you. You suffer when... So therefore, for your sake, I want parnasa and I want refuah shalem, not for me. For me, it's better not. I only want it for you. Can you imagine who thinks that way? That's the only allowance. All the bakashas we make are nikva on Rosh Hashanah that we live for you. Memela, we can make requests because we're doing it for a bunch of. By the way, Nefesh HaChaim writes on the Mishnah Perkei Avos, Al tiu kavodim ha'mishamshin asarav ha'manas kabel pras. Don't serve Hashem for reward. But it says Nefesh HaChaim. But if you eat potato kugel and you say like this, Rebbeinu Shalom, I know when I eat potato kugel, it gives you nachas. So I'm eating it to make you happy. That you're allowed to do because you're not doing it. You're doing it to bring nachas to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Nefesh HaChaim says it's the highest madrega. But we need Rosh Hashanah to establish that. But what I want to share with you tonight is really an amazing idea. This idea is brought by Reb Chaim Falaji in the Sefer Moed L'Chol Chai. It's also quoted by Rav Ruderman in the name of the Noda B'Yehuda. And the general idea is that when a person davens a tefillah, it goes up to Shemaim and they scrutinize it. They said, really? Let's check out that tefillah. This guy, his phone is buzzing half the time. No, we can't accept that tefillah. This guy, he's not even saying the words properly. That guy, his mind is wandering. By one bracha he's thinking about potato kugel. The next bracha he's thinking about chicken. The next bracha, who knows? What happens to all these tefillahs? What happens to them? They're not allowed up. Where do they go? They go into a special safe deposit box. Are they lost forever? No. Because if a person ever davens tefillah achas kahaygen, that tefillah goes ahead and envelops all those lousy tefillahs and schleps all the lousy tefillahs up to the shamayim, and they're all allowed entrance. So that is an idea brought by the Chachmas Manoyach in Masechta Brachos Davav Amabez. He quotes the Sefer Shari Oira. Shari Oira is Rabbi Yosef Giktilia, one of the early Mikubalim. That there's an idea that by davening with kavana, you can rescue lousy tefillahs, maybe the vast majority of your tefillahs, which might not be so great. Says the Noda B'Yehuda, says Reb Chaim Falaji, says the Todos Yaakov Yosef, that even though at any time, if you daven a tefillah kahaygen, you could rescue lost tefillahs, the tefillahs of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are particularly mesugal, they're particularly designated, that if we're mechaven and we daven them properly, those special tefillahs could literally rescue and schlep up all the tefillahs of the whole year. So you have to realize that when we say these tefillahs on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, it's not just our lives that are on the line and our families that are on the line and our livelihood that's on the line. Think about all those, perhaps all the tefillahs that are sitting there in the safe deposit box that could be very valuable and they could be very powerful. And we're able to access those tefillahs, schlep them upstairs, and Be'ezus Hashem, through the tefillahs of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, we could take 1,000 tefillahs from the year and gain entry into the Shari Shamayim. So in this way, the Medrash says that Bizman Hazeh, we have no Kohen, meaning we have no Kohen Gadol, we have no Beis HaMikdash, we have no Urim B'Tumim, we have none of the gifts of antiquity, we have none of the gifts of yesteryear, but we have this supernatural, powerful tefillos of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, that through them we could be mala all the tefillos of the year. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us all chizuk and the ability to mechaben properly, that al yedei these heilige tefillos we should be able to rescue all the tefillos of the year. All our tefillos should be neskabel barachim and v'ratzayin, and we should be zoichet to gaben shir ksiv chsima taiva.
Basically, the zechus of the ones that you have, which is Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, that you have tremendous.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.